John chapter 8. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again to the temple, and all the people were coming to him, and he sat down and began to teach them. And the scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery, having set her in the midst. And they said to him, Teacher, this woman has been caught in adultery in the very act. Now in the law of Moses commanded us to stone such women. What then do you say? And they were saying this, testing him, in order that they might have grounds for accusing him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground. Well, I'd like to know what he was writing right then. But when they persisted in asking him, he straightened up and said to them, He who is without sin among you, let him be the first to throw a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And when they heard it, they began to go out one by one, beginning with the older ones, and he was left alone, and the woman where she was in the midst. And straightening up, Jesus said to her, Woman, where are they? Did no one condemn you? And she said, No one, Lord. And Jesus said, Neither do I condemn you. Go your way. From now on, sin no more. There's two or three different ways of looking at this. And it's going to depend on which lens you got on whenever you're reading, But, one way of looking at it is they may even be lying. There ain't no witnesses there, right? And according to the law that they're trying to talk about, the law of Moses, you got to have witnesses before you can accuse somebody. Well, there wasn't none there. And another thing that gets brought up sometimes, I'm not sure if Jesus, like right here in verse 10, straightening up, Jesus said to her, Woman, where are they? Did no one condemn you? Is he talking about who should be there for witnesses to be, against her? Or is he talking about these scribes and Pharisees that brought her over there and was saying all this stuff about her? Because I ain't real sure, to be honest. You could take it either way. And you could get a lesson out of it either way. It just depends on which way you want to go with it. But I'm not gonna throw my opinion down on it really. But like I said, any way you look at it, just don't take it out of context, That's not one of the things about reading, talking about casting the first stone and stuff like that. Don't cherry pick Bible verses. If you're going to memorize a verse because you like the verse, which this is my opinion here. If you're going to memorize a verse, read the story around it. And then if that one verse is what you use to remember that story, use it that way and meditate on the story. You know what I'm saying? Don't just memorize one verse and use it however you want to. Use it in the direction that the story or the parable or whatever was meant to be used for. Does that make any sense? And maybe it's just a pet peeve of mine, but it does get kind of aggravating. When you pick a particular, and I don't guess there's anything really wrong with it. Here I go off rambling and stuff again. It's just you can't. It's like, you could take everything that I just said right here and pick one line out of it, like I like peanut butter, or something, and take that and turn it into something that not even what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to the story. Again, therefore, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. And the Pharisees therefore said to him, You are bearing witness of yourself. Your witness is not true. And Jesus answered and said to them, Even if I bear witness of myself, my witness is true. For I know where I came from and where I'm going. But you do not know where I come from, or where I'm going. You people judge according to the flesh. I am not judging anyone. And there's kind of what I was talking about a minute ago. If you if you're looking at this in regards to the law that they were trying to catch him in, as far as doing the law wrong, pretty much, as far as judging that woman without having the witnesses that you had to have as per the law. And now they're trying to get him with, and I heard there was somebody that there's several of us Bible believing or Bible reading channels that read the Bible on the internet and stuff like that. And I listen to a bunch of them. I mean, I listen to Bible studies from Mike Winger all the way to, I've listened to some Messianic Jewish stuff from time to time. I mean, if clear your mind and read along, you'll get something out of anything, no matter what you are, if you're a Bible believer. I want to say it was Bear. I will go back and listen, because he's been working on reading the Bible on the internet for a long time. I think he's almost got the whole Bible read on camera. But it may have been him. Was talking about, and it doesn't matter. I mean, he was talking about the witnesses. When Jesus starts talking about the witnesses, he's talking about him and his Father being the two witnesses that justifies everything that's being read here. I am the light of the world, and he who follows me shall not walk in the darkness, but shall have the light of life. And the Pharisees therefore said to him, You are bearing witness of yourself. Your witness is not true. And Jesus answered and said to them, Even if I bear witness of myself, my witness is true, for I know where I came from and where I'm going. But you do not know where I come from or where I'm going. You people judge according to the flesh, and I am not judging anyone. But even if I do judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone in it. And I think that's where this comes from. I am not alone in it, but I and he who sent me. Even in your law, it has been written that the testimony of two men is true. For I am he who bears witness of myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness of me. And so they were saying to him, Where is your Father? And Jesus answered, You know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father also. And these words he spoke in the treasury, as he taught in the temple, and no one seized him, because his hour had not yet come. And he said therefore again to them, I go away, and you shall seek me. I shall die, and shall die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come. I go away, and you shall seek me, and shall die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come. Just tell them they're going to go to hell. That's pretty much what's happening here. Therefore the Jews were saying, Surely he will not kill himself, will he? Since he says, Where I am going, you cannot come. And he was saying to them, You are from below, and I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. I said therefore to you that you shall die in your sins, for unless you believe that I am he, you shall die in your sins. And so they were saying to him, Who are you? And Jesus said to them, What have I been saying to you from the beginning? I have many things to speak and to judge concerning you, but he who sent me is true, and the things which I heard from him, these I speak to the world. And they did not realize that he had been speaking to them about the Father. And Jesus therefore said, When you lift up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am he. And I do nothing on my own initiative, but I speak these things as the Father taught me. And he who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, for I always do the things that are pleasing to him. And as he spoke these things, many came to believe in him. And Jesus therefore was saying to those Jews who had believed in him, If you abide in my word, then you are truly disciples of mine. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And they answered him, We are Abraham's offspring, and have never yet been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say you shall become free? And Jesus answered them, Truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who commits sin is the slave of sin. And the slave does not remain in the house forever. The son does not remain forever. If therefore the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. I know that you are Abraham's offspring, yet you seek to kill me, because my word has no place in you. I speak the things which I have seen with my Father. Therefore you also do the things which you have heard from your father. They answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. And Jesus said to them, If you are Abraham's children, do the deeds of Abraham. But as it is, you are seeking to kill me, a man who has told you the truth, which I heard from God. This Abraham did not do. You are doing the deeds of your father, they said to them. We were not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. And Jesus said to them, If God were your Father, you would love me. For I proceeded forth and have come from God. For I have not even come on my own initiative, but He sent me. Why do you not understand what I am saying? It is because you cannot hear my word. You are of your father, the devil. And I gotta pause for a minute. You are of your father, the devil, and you want to do the desires of your father. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. Whenever he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own nature, for he is a liar and the father of lies. But because I speak the truth, you do not believe me. Which one of you convicts me of sin? If I speak the truth, why do you not believe me? He who is of God hears the words of God. For this reason you do not hear them, because you are not of God. And the Jews answered and said to him, Do we not say rightly that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? The Jews answered and said to him, Do we not say rightly that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? Y'all remember what's up with the Samaritans and stuff, right? And Jesus answered, I do not have a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. But I do not seek my glory. There is one who seeks and judges. Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone keeps my word, he shall never see death. And the Jews said to him, Now we know that you have a demon. Abraham died, and the prophets also. And you say, If anyone keeps my word, he shall never taste of death. Surely you are not greater than our father Abraham, who died. The prophets died too, whom you make yourself out to be. And Jesus answered, If I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorifies me, of whom you say he is our God. And you have not come to know him, but I know him. And if I say that I do not know him, I shall be a liar like you. But I do know him and keep his word. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. And the Jews therefore said to him, You are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham? And Jesus answered to them, Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was born, I am. Therefore they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple. It's pretty cool. You know, and I like to think that when it says that Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple, you know, I mean, Jesus being who Jesus was, he could, you know, he could make himself get disappeared right quick and in a hurry. And you'll see this in a couple of other places. It seems like one or two of the apostles did something like this too, where they'd be in amongst the crowd, but they couldn't nobody see them. You know, it's something that happens. But it is 56 through 59. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. And the Jews therefore said to him, You are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham? And Jesus said to them, Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was born, I am. Therefore they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple. It's pretty good stuff. It's a pretty good book. Any way you look at it, whatever lens you got in front of you at the time, whenever you're reading it, studying it, whatever, it's pretty good. Pretty good.